So I thought I'd finally get around to doing my Mounjaro video that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and I know a couple of people have asked me some questions about my Mounjaro journey so far. So I thought I'd do a little intro to my experience anyway. Obviously this is just my personal experience. Everyone's experience is going to be different, and I know that because I've joined so many community groups and done so much research on that on the Mounjaro. I know a lot of people, particularly on the community group, which is on Facebook, which I will link below. You are wanting to know a bit more about it, which is probably why you're watching the video. But a lot of people have had different symptoms, and people have had worse symptoms than me, and so I just wanted to do like a little warning kind of intro that my experiences isn't going to be your experience by far, and that basically everyone's different, and if you are worried, then please go talk to a doctor, because like I watched a lot of people's Mounjaro videos and stuff, but at the end of the day I don't think I'm the one that can give you like the best advice and that. So if you are worried, then please go speak to a medical professional. Like, I am not one. I'm just doing a little video just to give you an idea of like the pros and cons I've found so far and how it's just worked for me. Sorry, there is a spider walking across my table. I hate them. Go away. But yeah, so I've made, so if I keep looking, it's because I've got like a little notepad down here. I've kind of wrote my points on it, so I'm going to try and not miss anything as best I can. So I started my Mounjaro weight loss job on the 27th of February 2025 this year. So I've been on it for 2 months now, so I've had a little bit of an experience, not as much as other people. There are other YouTubers out there that have been on it for almost a year, and that probably have more experience than I do, so I'd recommend going and checking out some of their YouTube videos as well. If I keep stopping and talking, it's because I keep hearing a door open, because I swear there's ghosts in that, but I think it's just the wind. So yeah, and you're supposed to obviously first of all start off on a 2.5 milligram, which is the lower dosage, so as far as I know, that you can start on, and you wean yourself up to it. You don't have to go on up each dose each month if you don't want to. You can ask your prescriber to stop and stay on 2.5 if that's working for you, or on the 5 milligrams, and that, just whatever is comfortable and you're best with. So I started on the 2.5 milligrams from the 27th of Feb to around about the 27th of March. So I'm going to talk about my experience on the 2.5 milligrams first, because I wanted to do a video month to month, but obviously if you're not watching my Aldi haul, we've moved house basically, so it's now me, Darren and my mum were in a different house. So yeah, there's now 3 of us, and yeah, I'm going to start talking off why I wanted to take Mounjaro. So I'm going to talk about personal topics as well in this video, and I'm going to be quite honest and in detail and talk about symptoms that might gross you out, and I'm going to be talking about periods, and I know that makes some people uncomfortable, but that's what I'm going to be talking about. So if you're not comfortable with me talking about these things, then don't watch this video. That's all I'm saying. So to start off, why I wanted to go on Mounjaro. Now, I have been humming and hawing about going on Mounjaro, I think about, I want to say over a year and a half. Sorry, I heard so many different things about side effects and people kind of talking about it in a negative way that it kind of scared me. And I wasn't in a financial position anyway, so I hadn't really thought about it over a year on that, and I was trying other things, like you've probably seen me try on my channel, like low carb diets and that, because I was trying to avoid anything but to go on Mounjaro originally. But I failed my low carb diet again, and it's mainly because of a reason called food noise. Now, I didn't know originally what it was called, and it's really hard to explain food noise to people that don't have food noise. But basically, all my life I've been constantly, I'd say 99% of the time, I think about food, to the point where like I can eat a meal and the next thing I'm thinking about is what I'm going to eat next, or I'm just sat randomly talking to someone and I'm thinking about crisps or chocolate or, you know, pop or anything, and my brain is just actively trying to get me to eat. And I thought I was addicted to food because people just kept saying, oh, it's so easy to lose weight and stuff, and to me it's just not. To me it's not. It was more of a psychological thing because I couldn't get that out of my head. I couldn't stop thinking about just food, and it's embarrassing to say so, and it's really hard to get anyone to understand that because nobody I know else has food noise. I didn't really know until I joined Mounjaro. I just knew about Mounjaro that it reduced your appetite, and that was kind of what I was hoping for. And then it wasn't until I went on a community group and I saw a post about food noise and video, and then because I tried to Google what I was experiencing before by putting addiction to food, but obviously that was like, there's not a thing. Food noise never even come up when I searched for it, but if you literally Google food noise, that was exactly what I was trying to explain. Yeah, so I really needed help psychological wise with that, and that was the main reason why I wanted to join Mounjaro. The second reason is I was diagnosed with polycystic ovaries syndrome back in November last year, which basically makes it very difficult for me to have children if I wanted to, and that stops my periods. I hadn't had a period in about 3 or 4 years. I've had like 1 or 2, and I went to the doctors and they said that I couldn't have fertility treatment until I've got to BMI under 30, which for me is about 13 stone I needed to lose, and to get to that just seemed impossible. I'm going to try not to cry, but I might cry, but we'll try. Yeah, because all my life I've wanted children. It's just the one thing I've wanted more than anything, and to kind of be told that it's not possible and I couldn't like get any help until I'd done this impossible thing, just really broke me. I felt like I ruined my life by putting on weight, and I couldn't really get any, and well, not all help, but so I'm just going to talk about the polycystic ovaries, I think, a little bit because I need to explain why. But we asked about kind of like gastric bands and stuff, and obviously they said that's kind of, you know, out of the question and that, because we asked them if I could go on the Mounjaro at my doctor's. Now they said that they didn't really go down that route. I don't really know what that meant. That was literally all she said about it. She said I could go on a tier 3 weight management program, but there's a 2-year waiting list, and I don't want to wait 2 years to be able to start something that may not even work, which is just basically where you see a psychologist and stuff to manage your weight. And then so it rolled on to I think 3 months later, around the January, and I got a text from my doctor that said, do I want to go on the weight management list? And I thought I was already on the list, so I kind of felt like I was being messed about at that point, because I've now got to wait an additional 3 months on top of the 2 years that I'm already waiting. So yeah, by that point I had enough, and I was kind of in a financial position where I could afford to go on the Mounjaro. And my sister is, well, she's the third reason I've gone on it, because I was obviously really worried about the side effects, and she took the 2.5, I think, and I don't believe she had any side effects. For her, I don't know if she went up any higher than that, I'm not too sure. Now I've got a cup of tea here as well. Yeah, so she went up on it. So I thought, obviously, with it being my sister and that I would be okay, because she's kind of not had any major side effects. So that was another reason, but a very small part of it. So yeah, that's why I wanted to take Mounjaro, because I kind of got to a point where I didn't know what else to do. Yeah, I started taking the Mounjaro on the 27th of Feb. I took a 2.5 milligram, and my partner first was injecting me because I was a bit scared about needles and that. So the first day I took it, it started to work in about 4 hours, I would say. I can't remember what I had for dinner that night. Obviously, it's been a while ago. And I only ate about a quarter of it. I was surprised how fast it was working, actually. And I couldn't eat much more. Now, I used to get, before I took Mounjaro, like just constant hunger. It felt like my insides were eating each other, is the only way I could describe it, because people used to constantly say to me, you're not really hungry, but to me, I was hungry. Like, even an hour or two after a meal, probably less time than that, I could have ate another meal, to be fair. And that's just what my stomach was grumbling. So yeah, to go from that to then eating a quarter of my dinner, I was just really surprised. And then literally the next day, the food noise had gone. It had gone completely, and I started crying, because when I tell you that, it was really a struggle, and I felt like, I was always thinking about food. I'm not joking when I say that. And for my mind to just kind of go quiet and the food noise go, and not think about food or anything like that, was just like a miracle to me. It would all have been, I guess, thinking about. I'd say that would work for obviously absolutely everybody, but it just has for me personally. So, and I went round Aldi and I didn't look at the crisps and the snacks. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even cross my mind, and which was a first for me. And I think that shop only come out at like £60 or something like that. Yeah, and I got home and I realised I hadn't, for the first time, kind of brought any snacks and anything like that. I just kind of brought what was on my list. So yeah, I was in a complete shock. Now, I will say, I felt like the 2.5 didn't work as long as I wanted to. I think it worked up to about, I want to say 3 or 4 days, and then it felt like I was slowly weaning back to thinking about food and getting hungry again. So around the, I want to say the 5 to 7 day mark of the week, I was having to kind of really force myself to kind of stop eating still. I lost 4 pounds on my first week, which is still really good. But again, I would say that happened pretty much on every week of the 2.5. That's why I felt like I needed to go up another dose, because it was only kind of lasting about 3 or 4 days realistically. My side effects on the 2.5, I not really had much side effects. I felt like my heart was beating a little bit faster about an hour or so after I took the injection, but that only lasted about 5 minutes, probably, if that. I don't know if it was the injection or but I was planning kind of moving around that point, I think, and stuff was happening. No, it wasn't then. I wasn't planning on moving then, but I know I was stressed about something, but I don't know if that was stress or the Mounjaro, so I'm not too sure. So my prescriber did warn me about acid reflux. I had acid reflux before I even started Mounjaro. So I take Nexium tablets about I was taking every 3 to 4 days. Now it's probably every 5 days. I probably take a tablet. I don't know if that's because I'm eating a little bit better. I'm not too sure. But I feel like I've actually had slightly less acid, but I still have acid. But I don't think, again, that is through Mounjaro. I will honestly say if it is through, but I just can't definitely say that those 2 symptoms were from that because I already had it beforehand. But I know people that have had side effects, you know, straight away, and they've been nausea and that. So that's why I said it just works differently for each person. So that's I think the 2.5. So I'm going to go on to the 5 milligram, which is what I've been on since about, I think, the 27th of March. So I've currently been on that since then, so about 3-4 weeks, I think. I think I've got 1 more week of the 5 milligram, and then I'm going to go up to 7.5 because my prescription, I got mine through Juniper. I'll put a link below if you want to go check out them. I would say they are a bit more expensive, but it's because you get a scale and you get a health coach with that as well, and the Juniper community post group, which I'm on like every day because I like talking and chatting with other members and seeing what they're eating and going through. Because I did notice on the group that some people started this around the same time as me and have very similar symptoms, I would say. But obviously so far I've managed to get a discount on each month, and it would go up to, I think it's £229 it will go up to now. And I know there's other places that I've had a look at, like MedExpress and that, which are significantly cheaper. Obviously you don't get the health coach, but I can't say that I really use the health coach that much. I did at the beginning, and she just set me out a calorie intake. Now she says that I can eat 2,328 calories a day, which to me seems like a lot, but I guess compared to what I probably was eating, isn't. And my weight obviously, but to be fair, I don't think I even touch that anyway, near on a daily basis anyway. I don't calorie count because she said I didn't really have to, unless I felt it was significant to me. I really think it has been. I've just kind of been cooking as normal, but I eat less of the plate of dinner anyway. So far I'm okay with not calorie counting. But again, each to their own. So the 5 milligram has been more difficult for me, I will say. Now it has stopped the food noise, I would say, completely, and the hunger. But I would say it was from like the 2nd week on. When I first started the 5 milligram, the first week I felt was really hard. I felt it was less better than the 2.5. I felt like I was a little bit more hungry than usual. So I did slightly struggle, I would say. So I haven't lost that much weight on the 5. No, sorry, I forgot to say I lost 10 pounds altogether on the first month of 2.5. And so far on the 5 milligrams I've lost, I think 5 pounds I've lost so far, but I have been on it for 3 weeks, so it's a little bit slower, not completely slow, obviously, that's still good, I think, because altogether I've lost 1 stone and 3 pounds so far as of today, which obviously I know some people have probably lost a stone and that in the first month, which is really good for them, like I said, but everyone's different, and I don't want to put myself down, because to me that's still really good. So I'm happy with that. So yeah, the 5. So I'd say that the first week, and then the second week I think I was moving and that, preparing to move and that. But I noticed that obviously Mounjaro doesn't break all of your bad habits, and it's not going to. You've got to work on the rest. So one of my bad habits is eating when other people are eating. So even if I'm not hungry, I will eat because other people around me are eating. And I don't know if that's like a left out feeling, or I just don't know what to do if someone's eating and I'm not. Is it making me feel awkward? I'm not too sure. So I know this is going to be a bit of a long video, but it's just because I'm going through 2 months of it, and then we'll go back to hopefully a normal month-to-month update. So yeah, I'd say I did that particularly on the second week. So I think, for an example, I'm going to tell you the good and the bad, because I'm not a perfect human being. And I think I had like a sandwich and crisps and that from the shop, and then I think I went shopping with my sister, and I had sausage and mash. I mean, granted it was only a small plate, but I shouldn't have had it like when I had just had a sandwich. I just had it because we were going to a cafe and stuff, and I felt like I had to eat, and I could have actually had just a cup of tea, to be fair. So I had to like talk to myself and snap me out of that and go, you know, just, that's what I feel best as well for myself, is to talk to myself, because I know that I wasn't even hungry, and I weren't even craving food, but I was just doing it for a social reason. So yeah, but since I kind of had that talk to myself, I've not done it since. And hopefully it's going to stay that way. Obviously I think I'm just going to eat when I normally eat or want to eat. So yeah, I would say that I've been quite good on the second week of it and this week, which is really where I've mainly lost the weight. So I didn't really lose any weight the first 2 weeks of the 5 milligrams, obviously while I was sorting myself out, and then the second week I lost £1, but this week I've lost 4 pounds. 4 pounds. So yeah, things are slowly moving in the right direction, and I think that's because I'm trying to just eat when I actually want to eat, you know, when I'm actually feeling hungry. So yeah, but my side effects with the 5 milligram have been a lot worse. I've had the sulfur burps. Now, if you don't know what sulfur burps are, is basically, so with Mounjaro, it makes you go to the toilet less. So this is why I obviously gave the warning at the video. I'm going to get a bit personal. But yeah, so it makes you go to the toilet less, and obviously because the food is sitting longer in your stomach, you become constipated, and the bacteria in your stomach creates sulfur, which is called sulfur burps, and it's disgusting. That would say is a symptom that just kind of put me off. It's like rotten egg. That's all I can say. It's just gross, and I'm windy a lot, particularly the first and the second day after. So when I take my injection on a Thursday, and then so the Friday and Saturday, it's currently Saturday today, it's a lot. I get sulfur burps, and I get bad wind. It's what I'm gonna say, and I get like a bloatiness feeling, and that's just horrible. I will say there was a particular point last week, sorry, and I felt like I was too kind of just blocked up, really. So I did have to take some like not diarrhea relief, the ones that make you go to the toilet anyway, tablets. So I took those, which significantly helped me, because I dropped like £5, I think. Well, no, it wouldn't have been the last week I took those. It was a couple of weeks ago, yeah. Yeah, because obviously it does stop you from going to the toilet, but since I've not had to take them since, because I've increased my water, which I believe, and I drink a lot more, so like tea, even if it's just tea and that. And I've kind of gone to the toilet semi-normal-ish since. Not completely, but my sulfur burps, again, they only last 1 to 2 days of the week, and I can handle that. That's fine. I have had nausea a couple of times, and I want to say it was particularly during the first and the second week of the 5 milligrams, and I haven't had it. I wasn't sick last week. I've not been sick so far this week, but the first and second week. But I think that was because I obviously, like I said, I was eating more than I probably should have done, and that. So, and I think particularly when I get to the full point, it then triggers that nausea feeling. So I've learned to kind of eat just kind of underneath what I think is my full point, to kind of stop at that point and don't reach the full point, because I don't think my stomach doesn't handle it very well. Another side effect, I would say, I don't know if it's a side effect or I don't, but there's certain things, foods that my stomach can't handle, and it just makes me feel all icky and stuff inside. Red meat's one of them, particularly. Now I was gonna cook with vegetarian mince and that instead, which I'm more than happy to do, but I don't think my mum and my partner would eat vegetarian mince. I know Darren definitely wouldn't, and I just don't want to be cooking 2-3 different meals a day, because I still do all the cooking at home. So at the minute I'm just trying to find the 5%, or if I can find 3% mince, then I prefer to cook with that if possible. Obviously I think Mum's going to make lasagna this week, which I think uses a higher percentage of fat meat, but I will see how I go. I'll let you know next month. That and eggs, I don't know. I've always been a bit picky with eggs anyway. Eggs make me feel a bit funny. The one thing I do love, I would say, is I just love chicken and vegetables pretty much on this Mounjaro. Like I'm happy eating chicken and vegetables. Like last night for dinner I had chicken and vegetables with cheese on top, and that's all I had, and I was happy with that. So yeah, I want to say there was just a couple of foods. I think maybe it's like the fat content in food, so anything that's greasy and fatty, it doesn't sit well with me. So yeah, that is my side effect. Been okay on the 5 milligrams. I would like my appetite to be slightly less more than it is, but I don't know. But I'm a little bit worried about going up to the 7.5 just because of the side effects I've had on the 5. But the way my prescription works is to go up each dose. So I'm going up all the way up to 10 milligrams per month. So obviously I'm going to see how the 7.5 goes. Hopefully it's okay and I can manage it. Obviously I know as you go up the doses and that, the more side effects you can have, and I've always said to myself that if my side effects get to any point, that I will stop or I will lower the dose. Obviously I know I could speak to my prescriber if I wanted to and just say I want to stay on the 5 or the 7.5, and that, like I said, I'll update you with each video and just see how it goes. So the things, there was a couple more things, sorry, I know it's quite a lengthy video. I want to talk was about the polycystic ovaries. I've had periods since I started Mounjaro. I don't know if there's any relation to that. I couldn't really find anything. They said there had been some studies on improving it, polycystic ovaries, and then in the community group someone put that they have it, and has anyone noticed a change in their periods, because they've started having periods too, and I put underneath that, yeah, that's me, I've been having periods since I started, which honestly has made me so happy. Because, but again, I don't know if that's Mounjaro or eating habits. I don't know. But I will say my first period, which I had roughly, I think, a day or two after I took the Mounjaro, that lasted 18 days, which going from no periods to an 18-day one was horrible. My tummy, yeah, I was pretty much bloated like the whole time. I was actually about to go to doctors, to be fair, if it didn't stop. But it did stop, it's fine. And then I had a normal period, like a 5-day one, a week or two ago. So hopefully, I really hope that my periods are back. But yeah, no, I think that's it. I think that's everything I want to talk about this week. So yeah, and I'll show you like little snippets of my Juniper app, and they've got like little milestones. I've reached my second milestone. You can set your milestones to however much you want. I think I've just aimed to lose 4 stone at the minute, because I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to lose weight, obviously. So yeah, that's just my goal at the moment. So yeah, I will link everything down below. Like I said, I've not really changed much of my diet as such as it is. I've just been eating smaller portions. But I think to obviously increase my weight loss, that on the 7.5 next month, that's something that I'm thinking about having to change, whether it'll be kind of doing a low carb kind of diet. And I haven't exercised at the minute. Obviously I've moved house, so I have exercised a little bit. I think I'm going to start going for walks and stuff, and start exercising as well. So that being said, I'm going to end the video because it's nearly 40 minutes long now. But yeah, thank you for watching if you're still here, and yeah, I'll see you in the next update. Bye.